There's a lot of videos out there about how to succeed in day trading and what things you can do to become profitable and stuff like that, but I didn't see a lot about swing trading. Today I want to share with you my tips on how to become a successful swing trader. Things I've done myself, things you can do to save time to get better results. We'll dive right in. Alright, so I'm not the kind of person to sugarcoat things and make things like easy for everyone, but the first thing you should figure out if you want to become a swing trader is understand if it's really for you. Are you going to be a good swing trader? Is this what you really want to do? Is it matching your personality too? Are you able to hold trades for a while and not be like too worried about them? Are you able to hold overnight, hold over many days and not stress about your trades? Or are you going to be like really impatient and cut them and you want to have quick results? That's going to be much better suited for day trading. So figure out exactly if it's good for you first. What I usually tell people to do is to do a SWOT analysis. They go through what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what their opportunities are, what their threats are, then figure out if it's really a good time to be swing trading or not. For some people, it will be a good time. They'll be having good results with this. For some people, they just won't because they're not going to be able to have the right strength for swing trading and for long-term trading. After you watch this video here, if you want to go more into your strengths and weaknesses and understanding how to use these for trading, I'll put below a free training. It's going through in depth on how to do a SWOT analysis. I'll even give you a template you can use and kind of go through this yourself if you want. So click that link below, enter your email, you get it right away, and you can start to fill out that SWOT analysis to prepare yourself for swing trading. And it's completely free, of course. Alright, now the first warning I gotta give you about swing trading is if you're the kind of person who wants to learn everything, don't try to learn everything. Try to stick to only knowing a few things. Like all this video here is to kind of filter things out for you so you don't have to learn all this stuff. You don't have to go through all these YouTube videos about trading and all that stuff and like waste some time. Because what I've seen in the past is people who try to learn everything in trading, they end up just being so overwhelmed and so confused that they don't do anything with it. They know like all these patterns, all these tools. They cannot go in the market and place trades because they have all this conflicting advice on how to do things. And then they're like just kind of frozen there and cannot do anything. So if you filter out things you'll learn to only things that are actually useful for you and things that you'll need to succeed, then you can usually get better results that way. So don't try to learn everything. Try to focus. I'll give you my steps here to get to becoming a successful swing trader. But you got to be willing to not try to just pick up all the book, watch all the videos about stuff that you won't need or won't use to succeed later on. Okay, now once you figure out that trading is really for you and you want to become a swing trader, the first thing you got to do is to pick a type of trade you want to focus on. Now I say focus on because, like I said, the guys who are all over the place trying to trade everything, every pattern, they usually fail. They usually don't get good results that way. The ones who succeed focus on a very few key things. Like they have one kind of trade they want to focus on, one type of trade. You know the types of trades are breakouts, trends, and reversals. Pick one of these and focus on it. If you're someone who tends to agree with everyone, you want to catch the move and enter early in the trend, then go for breakouts. If you're someone who likes to hold trades for a while and let them run in your favor, go for trend trading. It's going to be a lot better to kind of keep trades longer. If you're someone like me who prefer to be contrarian, you like to go kind of against most people, against the popular belief, then you go for reversal trading. My favorite style of trading, but you can pick the one you like, and it took me so many years to get to add a different style to my portfolio. I used to be all about reversals for many years. About 2 years ago, I started to add more strategies to kind of diversify, to make money in other conditions. But first you gotta focus on one thing to get good results, and that's the type of trade you pick at first. Now just stick around a little bit here. I'll give you details about how this works out in a few minutes. But first, understand that once you pick out that style of trading you want to focus on, then you should only be practicing and learning about this one specific style. Right? If you are a reversal trader, you pick that style. Don't go and learn about like breakouts and trend trading and all that stuff. Don't watch videos about people who trade breakouts. Only focus on stuff, content, books that are going to be about reversal trading. If it were me, let's say I had like a really giant big trading book about like all these patterns and stuff, I would look at the section only for like reversal patterns, and that's all I would do. I wouldn't care about the other chapters about like trends and continuations and all that stuff. I would just focus on that chapter on reversals and try to master it as much as I can. Here I'm going to simplify things a little bit for you even more. All you need to succeed in trading are three things. You need a setup, you need an entry, and then you need an exit. These are all three things you need. And beyond that, it's all adding complexity to it. You don't need all these other things, and all you need is a setup, an entry, and an exit. Of course, a lot of the things fit into it, but what I want you to do here is pick a setup from a YouTube video, from a book. It doesn't matter, pick a setup. Pick an entry, so like a point in the chart you would enter after that setup happens, and then pick an exit. It could be as simple like stop loss, take profit, what these exits would be like. Now, there's a few things you need to know about these entry setup exits, because depending on the type of trade you picked, it'll be a little bit different. So here are the couple of things you need to know about it. We'll go on the whiteboard and I'll give you a quick intro to how this works out. Alright, so here's what you gotta know about this setup, the entry and the exit for different types of trades. Now here I've got my little fancy kind of board. We have breakouts, we have trends, and we have reversal trades. Now these are gonna be different, and the setup, the entry, the exit will be different for these different strategies. Now think about the setup for breakout, right? So you wanna try to enter early. I'm not a good drawer, but you get the idea here. I want to be able to enter early in the trend, right? You don't want to wait too late. You don't want to wait too, of course you want to enter like when it's not a good breakout yet. You want to be careful, because a lot of what you have to do in the entry, in that case, is to filter out the fakes. A lot of fake breakouts will happen. Like price will go above a certain area, will go in your favor, then will reverse right back to the range. You got to be careful about this. So adding like a few more rules, a few more confluences can help in that case. So when it comes to the exit, right, when you're wrong, it's always the same principle. You want to get out when you're wrong, but think about, you want to get out if price goes back within the range, right? That will be your ideal scenario. You get out when price gets back in the range. That's a losing trade. You cut your loss, you're done with it, and then you move on. If it goes in your favor, you can try to take partials at roughly the range height. So you take partial profits when price reaches the height of the range above or below. That would be your first target, but you want to keep part of it for a potential trend. If the trend starts and then it kind of goes in favor for a while, you don't want to cut yourself short here. You want to keep part of your profits or part of your trade on for if you have a trend that goes on. Now it sounds all cool here and all good, but most trades won't get to a trend. They will just like break out and price will reverse back against you. But if you keep part of it for later on to keep as the trend starts, a few of your trades will eventually make great moves, and then you make a lot of money on these trades. So it's always a probabilities game with that kind of trading. Right, when you go to trend, let's start with the exit first. At trend, you gotta keep your exit for a longer time, right? You don't want to get out right away if it's in profit. So you keep it for longer for the trend to continue, right? So a good thing that works well with people is like to have a trailing stop loss. You have a stop loss, move in your favor, then you kind of move your stop loss a bit more, moves in your favor, you add it a little bit more until you get stopped out eventually like 4 or 5 hour on that trade. That's the ideal case. But you still want to be exiting, so your stop loss will be if the trend stops. So you got to be careful. You got to look at the highs and the lows, figure out when is that trend stopping, is it still going on or not, and if it doesn't go on, then you close your trade and you move on, and that's it. We don't want to be holding trades if there's no trend in the market when we trend trade. That's very important. Again, you can do partials if you want to. Part of your profits, you take them earlier, the other part you take them later. You can do that for sure. When it comes to entry, you always want to enter on a pullback. We don't try to catch the bottom of the market. We don't try to do anything of the sort. We wait for a pullback to happen. We wait for confirmation, which is a setup, and then we go in, right? So if that pullback is strong enough, you go on the trade. If it's not strong enough and it kind of fails, then you get out. And that's the idea here. Setups are going to be a little bit later than the breakout. So you can have a breakout. You wait for the breakout to happen, and then you enter later a little bit in that move, right? You give it a bit of time to show you that the trend will work out. You wait for that first pullback. By the way, the first pullback is always very reliable on breakout. So you have a breakout, you wait for the first pullback to happen, the first one after the breakout, and that tends to work really well in the market. So keep that in mind here. Now I'll get to indicators in just a minute, but when we talk about reversals, the key thing is you want to wait for extreme points, right? So in a breakout, we enter when it's early, when you have a break of the range. We wait for later when the trend starts to enter. Reversals are happening at extreme points. That's why you need a lot more confirmation, a lot more confluence to get on these trades, because you need to have some way that will tell you the market will actually reverse or give you a decent profit. So we need to be careful with that. And also when it comes to exit, our targets will be a lot smaller, okay? So very hard to get to a like 5 hour reversal. That doesn't happen a lot. You'll see these trades happen once in a while, but most of them will be like 1 hour, maybe like 0.5 hour on some trades. Like you got to be a lot faster on these trades, because often these reversals you think will be just pullbacks, and they will actually make the trend continue to the upside after. You want to get out when the trend continues. When it's going back to a trend, you want to get out of these reversal trades. Don't keep them open if the trade goes back against you. Price goes beyond the high that you shorted before. You don't want to be in that trade. And again, you can use partials, like all these strategies. So you will be able to take a profit faster, like a 1-to-1, which is what I prefer myself, a 1-to-1 target. And then I've got like maybe a 2-to-1, or maybe a position that I keep for longer. and I can trade it a little. I can kind of see if the trend works for me or not. If we go start a trend, then I'll keep it longer. And that's kind of how I play with this. So indicators are important here because some people confuse the whole thing here. They add like moving averages to trade reversals, or they might go and look at the trend and trade like Bollinger Bands, or they might go on a breakout and they like look at whatever kind of indicator they can think about, or maybe the ADX. Those are not the right way to do it. So you have indicators for different conditions, different type of trades. Trends, of course, it's classic. Your moving averages work really well for trends. Reversals, you got things like Bollinger Bands, which also kind of work well for these trends if you want, depending on how you use them. So you can use either the extreme points of the Bollinger Band or the middle points. You can use either the extreme points of the Bollinger Band, the high and the low band, or you can use the middle band for like a bounce, and then kind of like a standard deviation that way. So these work well. Reversals, you got the RSI, which by the way you can also use well for breakouts if you want to have an idea of how that works out. I'll put a video in the corner over here which talks about how to do that using the RSI for breakouts. That's a really good tool if you want to check it out. But yeah, that's kind of how it works out. So we use the right tool for the right context. If you want to look at trends, of course you might look at the ADX. I'm not gonna list all of them here. There's a ton of indicators you can use, a ton of different rules. But the same thing goes with like chart patterns too. Don't look for head and shoulder patterns for trends. These are for reversals. You gotta read a little bit, figure out what type of indicator work well for what kind of trade, and then go that way and use this to your advantage. Alright, so here's something people don't do usually. They don't go out and test and track the results in trading. They have a strategy, they're super happy about it. They go trade it for a week. They have a couple of losing trades, they give up, then they move to something else. We don't want to do that. We want to be able to take trades, track the results, and then go and analyze these results, and eventually maybe adapt a few things. But you gotta go out and practice this for a while. I'm gonna give you a challenge here to take 50 trades, whether it's demo, whether it's backtest, whether it's on a small live account. Take 50 trades and don't do anything else. Just take these trades, follow your plan. At the end of these 50 trades, look at the results and see how you did. You'll be surprised, people who fail in trading, like they strategy jump all the time, they go from one thing to the next. They cannot take more than like 5 or 10 trades. They always give up after 5 or 10 trades because the results are not good enough. If they just stick to it for maybe like 25 to 50 trades, the results will be a lot better because they stick to it. They can have the odds and the numbers play in their favor. Probabilities, like a good win rate, takes time to build. Out of 5 trades or 10 trades, it doesn't mean much. Out of 25 trades, it starts to mean something, but not that much either. Out of 50 trades, then it means something good. Then you have a good result, so you can have a decent win rate. So up to you if you do it or not, but the other way is either you strategy jump forever, you change style until you get tired of it, or you stick to 50 trades, see the results, and then kind of start to build your career like this and get profitable that way. Up to you. Okay, once we've done that, you need to be able to look at your results and see how did you do, and then you either tweak your strategy for things that didn't work. You might add a few more rules, you might tweak a few ways you enter, a few ways to take profit based on the trades you've tracked and seen how they unfold. Or if you only can talk to a coach. I think it's a good idea there to have someone you can bounce ideas off and talk to someone who's good at it, who knows how to troubleshoot strategy problems and get you better results that way. This is the process I would go through, and it's the same way I coach my students to get profitable in swing trading, the same step we go through with them. Now if you want to see my strategies, how I trade these reversal patterns, and how I'm making a living in the market, check out this video here next. I'm gonna go in depth into how to trade, how to get good results, and I'll catch you back there. Ciao.